Hi everyone, I'm Angelica, aka Gunsmile, and today I want to talk about Borca, the legacy of the ancients. Picture this. You wake up to a gray sky that turns red when the dust storms pass through the city. You get up and get dressed, putting on your heavy coat and thick scarf to keep the dust out of your lungs. It's morning, so you open all of your curtains. The judges demand it. If they catch you with your curtains closed during the day, you could pay a fine, or worse. You go outside. The streets of Justitian are clogged with people, each going about their own business like you have yours. Every so often, you see someone from a cult, perhaps a scrapper who is gearing up for a trip beyond the city to scavenge for his day's wages. Perhaps you spot a gang of apocalyptics from one of the city's flocks. You give them a wide berth. The speakers towering over the street corners play music from the bygone era, something classical, something lively. But suddenly, the music cuts off. An electronic voice comes on, crackling and inhuman.
The cluster speaks.
Beyond them, on the platforms of the Peace Walk, judges watch. They always watch. Of course, life is very different if you live in Liqua, where the water lords rule and the judges have no sway, or in Cathedral City, the great capital of the Anabaptists, or in the rubble, where the providers farm and toil. Borca is much more than Justitian and the Protectorate, even if the chroniclers and the judges like to think otherwise. Borca is one of 7 cultures of degenesis rebirth. It spans much of Central Europe and is split in half by the Reaper's Blow, the devastating result of a major asteroid collision during the Eschaton. What resulted are 2 very different regions. West Borca is covered in the ruins of the bygones. Cities once crowded the landscape, which means a lot of metal and rust during the years following the apocalypse. Because of the lack of forests on this side of the Reaper's Blow, Borcans used the metal from these ruins to build their cities, from the tallest monuments to the smallest houses. Then scrappers, the backbone of the European economy, go out into the wasteland to scavenge as much of the leftovers as possible, bring them back to cities, and sell them to the chroniclers. I want to reiterate that Justitian isn't the only city. It's just the biggest one in a region known as the Protectorate. There's also Basham, Cathedral City, and the Spital, several smaller towns, and even smaller villages and outposts. But there are mysteries lurking in West Borca too. The ruins of Noret, from where no one returns. The Fallen Star by war-torn Nilpelia. The grindworks of Exalt. East Borca, on the other hand, is covered by forests and fertile lands. Thick roots and dense foliage hide treasures of the bygones from all but the most determined of scrappers. In the lush landscape, the clans proliferate. Osman, a powerful seat for the Jehemedans, is the only major city on this side of the Reaper's Blow, though that wasn't always the case. The great city of Praha Republica was a legend even during its time, as only citizens were allowed within its walls. No one else knew what was inside. That is, until the black god, Chernobog, arrived. In a single night, he brought ruin and horror to Praha. But he didn't stay. The Marauder's march continues, and his loyal clanners, the many families who worship him, follow in his wake. High above the landscape, several broadcast towers rise into the air. Relics of the bygone era, they are now the headquarters of the Needles, mysterious individuals with immense knowledge and superior technology. Their eyes turn toward the east, and they bide their time. Interestingly, Borca is the only culture in Europe without its own crater. Hispania has Mirar, Franca has Sufrance, Purgare has Nox, Poland has Pandora, and Balkan has Usud. Africa also doesn't have a crater, but we'll get to that in another video. What does the lack of a crater mean for Borca? Relative safety from the Psychonauts, that's what. The chroniclers, the Spitalians, and the judges were able to forge an alliance and become powerful without the Psychonauts interfering. And while people from other European cultures grow up with the Psychonauts baked into their local mythology and folklore, the Borcans don't. But that doesn't mean Borcans are safe, nor does it mean they are a sheltered people either. The good citizens of the Protectorate are facing an overwhelming threat on their borders. The clans of West Borca, once shattered by the hammers of the judges, are crawling out of the shadows to take back what is theirs. Learn more about Borca on the Degenesis Rebirth website at www.degenesis.com and in the core book, Primal Punk. Even more information about Borca, the Protectorate, and the Bloody Clan Wars will be revealed in the upcoming book Justitian, coming in September 2020. Pre-order them today on the Degenesis Rebirth website. Until next time, game on, and be kind to each other.